Hello everyone. Today I want to share with you this iconic palmnut soup recipe. I call it iconic because it always happened at a certain time of the year, right? And my mom used specific ingredients, a very, very controversial ingredient or ingredients or parts of the goods, which is amazing. I loved it and I miss my mother. So yeah, this is for my mother. So here is my protein, okay? It is all from one animal, the goat. So I have the stomach, right? The intestines. I have the head. Here you can see the bit of the mouth. Then you can see the eyes be sparkling there, like the eye. I'm showing you that right now. And I have like the ear there. Then I have the goat's legs, and then I have some of the goat's meat and kasa. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be doing is to be mixing our palmnut base. Today I'm using inkulenu. I love inkulenu. I've always loved inkulenu, so I don't know why. I just trust inkulenu. Yeah, so I'm going to transfer everything into the saucepan and I'll add some hot water, mix it and set it aside. Okay, the reason I mix it and set it aside so that if there are any particles or impurities in the content of the palmnut base, it will be settled at the bottom so that it's easier. I don't turn it all into my soup. Okay, so give it a good mix with hot water so that it melts, because when you use cold water, it's going to be very sleepy, just a better. Anyway, mix it and set aside. That is all, that one done for now. Okay, the next one is I'm going to show you my vegetables. Not much for the vegetables. I have some tomatoes, some red onions, and some red chilies. You can use green chilies if that's what you want. You can use any kind of onions, but tomatoes, dear, use tomatoes. You can use canned tomatoes, not tomato puree, canned tomatoes. But you can use tomato puree if that's what you want. I want you all to ignore the mushrooms, okay? I showed it, but eventually I forgot about it. I don't know where I put it. You boil the vegetables until it's soft and you set it aside. So the first thing that I do is I steam my meat. I steam the legs, the intestine, because they tend to be hard. Okay, then I'll add the rest. So I actually boiled it until it's nice and firm, right? Then I threw the water away, and then now I'm adding the other bits, okay, the controversial bits, why my mom used the goat head and legs to make palmnut soup. I know, dear, I cannot explain, but yeah. So I'm adding my B10, wash the bowl, added some water to it to help it steam, my salt, and then I'll add my green chili mix, some of that to it, right, to give it a good taste. Abenkwan palmnut soup doesn't need a lot of seasoning. It needs very natural, authentic seasoning to make it taste very nice. Okay, so I'm looking at the meat. I'm like, why should I follow my mother's method? I have to remove all the eyes. The eyes were looking at me. I didn't even hear me, sir. Anyway, so you let it steam nicely, and then we'll add the rest of our ingredients. It is very easy to do, okay? But before then, I have to add the proper goat meat, Add it now because it is a bit softer or less tougher than the others. So you have to add it later in life, okay? Later life. Well. Yes. So my mom, always, Christmas time, we had chicken, okay? We'll slaughter chicken. But New Year's Day, we'll slaughter a goat. And when we slaughter a goat, she leaves the head and the legs. Okay, so I'm adding some widiaba to boost the taste a little bit, okay? Nothing much, right? Or you can add a little bit of dawa if you want. It makes it very nice. And if you are a prekese person, you add prekese. I'm not so much of a prekese person. So sometimes I add, sometimes too I don't, okay? But then I have prekese and I'm using it for other important things, not abenkwan. It's very medicinal, and I'll bring you some of those remedies, okay? Maybe I may want, it's not easy to come by, so what I have, preserve it. Okay, so one thing, let me show you something here, okay? So one thing my mom used to do is usually every time we make abenkwan, the solution, it is always more than the saucepan. Our saucepan is never big enough. So what she will do is, after she puts everything together, she'll bring a smaller saucepan and scoop some of the soup on the side, and that will be boiling alongside, or even if it's not boiling, it will just be sitting there. And then as the main soup is shrinking, she'll be adding it. But I put mine on the small burner because I have a burner. Those days we use only coal pot. So you don't have two, it's only one, always one. Maybe two, I don't know, but we always had one. Okay, so yeah, as that is boiling, this is also boiling, and the bigger one will shrink, and I'll add a big one to it. I added some meat to it so that one also flavors, in case I move away and someone thinks that, I can take any of the soup. Whichever you take, there's meat inside. So you come back, give it a stir to see. All right. So as I was saying, my mom will save the head and the legs, okay, for like getting to end of March, okay, because Easter time too, there will be another slaughter. Okay, so getting to the end of March, or maybe end of February, then she will release a banquine with it. So good. Okay, so I just miss her. May her soul rest in peace. So I decided that I'll just do her all the honors and replicate her soup, goat head and goat legs, like a banquine. My husband says, who is going to eat that meat? Nobody will eat the goat head, though. It's not my husband. I say, okay, no problem. I make the soup. One day, he asked me, Samira, that goat head, is it still in the deep freezer? I said, deep freezer? No, finish eating. I said, when? He said, when? You're asking me when. You ate it a long time ago. And I didn't see. I say, You play with me in this house. Play with me. You'll see. He ate it. I didn't that day. Anyway, once the soup is done, you let it sit a bit and it settles, and you'll be able to skim all the oil. Okay, all the oil is not necessary for the soup. You can use this one for some contomere stew or some garden stew. Actually, that's what I'm going to be making this evening. So anything I know about man. Anyway, so you skim it nicely, and you add or you can use it to make a papransa. Yeah, you know a papransa. Yeah, you use this oil for a papransa. Amazing. Yeah. Okay, so that is it done, and the soup is so good. So it was so good, and we used it to eat my yam fufu the other day. So if you see when I made this yam fufu long time, I'm now posting the abenkwine. Hey, Samira. Anyway, so yeah, I just decided to make this, right? If you're someone who is interested in legs and head, this is the soup for you, okay? Because my mom loved it, and I didn't particularly like it, but then I had to eat it because when dear then I'll be. But then I decided to make it just to honor her memory. And thank you, Madam Adelaide Equia Densua Emisa. That is her maiden name, but then Ochre, her married name. Thank you all for joining me, and I will see you in the very next one. Bye.